What if I told you that your mind is quietly running its own behind-the-scenes show, and you only get invited to the part where everything is already decided? Nobody warns you about this. We grow up thinking the mind is this tidy space where thoughts appear in clean little bubbles, but really, it is more like a crowded apartment with opinions, memories, fears, dreams, and that one 8th grade embarrassment still living there for free. And honestly, they do not even try to be quiet. Here is something no one tells you when you are younger. Your mind is not trying to make you happy. It is trying to keep you alive. That is its main job, and survival mode is not cute. You can be having a perfectly calm day, and suddenly your brain pops up with something like, what if everything falls apart in the next 10 seconds? Thank you for the creativity, but no thank you. We walk around assuming our thoughts are facts, but they are not. They are suggestions, stories, drafts, internal monologues shaped by old patterns and half-remembered moments. Your mind has a personality of its own, and most of it was shaped long before you realized you even had a say. Ever catch yourself spiraling over something tiny, or assuming someone is mad at you even though they literally just said good morning? That is your mind trying to fill in blanks with recycled material. It is doing the best it can with the data it has, but sometimes that data is outdated by like years. There is a quote I always hold onto. You do not see the world as it is. You see the world as you are. And wow, that hits. Because it is true. What you notice, what you fear, what you expect, all of it starts inside your mind long before anything happens outside of you. Something else no one talks about. Your mind loves shortcuts, psychological shortcuts. If it can save energy, it will. So, instead of analyzing everything from scratch, your brain grabs something familiar. Maybe an old fear or belief, and slaps it onto whatever is happening now. That is why you sometimes react bigger than the situation actually deserves. You are not reacting to what is in front of you. You are reacting to layers of what came before. And can we talk about how your mind can talk you out of your own greatness? You have a dream or a spark of confidence, and suddenly your brain whispers something like, but what if you fail? It is not trying to be mean. It just thinks safety is the priority. But staying small might feel safe, yet it also keeps your life on repeat, and you deserve more than a loop. Let me ask you something. How many times have you said, I am just being practical, when really what you meant was I am scared? And why do we not call ourselves out on that more often? Another truth. Your mind believes what you repeat, even if it is not true. If a thought shows up enough times, your brain eventually files it under facts. Repetition feels like evidence. Think about the things you tell yourself over and over. I am not good with people. I always mess things up. Nothing works out for me. None of those started as truths. They just became familiar. Your mind gets attached to familiar. But the beautiful thing is that the brain is plastic. Not like a water bottle, more like a muscle. It changes based on what you practice thinking. You can create new grooves, new stories, new interpretations. It is slow, yes. A little messy, yes. But real, absolutely real. Here is something else that feels unfair, but also kind of freeing. Your mind exaggerates pain, but downplays progress. Pain feels urgent. That is why your brain remembers the one awkward moment from last night more than the 20 times you made people smile. Your brain is scanning for danger. Embarrassment feels like danger. Silence after a text feels like danger. Someone raising an eyebrow feels like danger. Meanwhile, quiet little wins get ignored because your mind does not see them as important. But imagine how your life would feel if your mind celebrated progress with the same volume it uses for worry. Let's talk confidence for a second. Nobody says this out loud enough. You are not supposed to feel confident before you do the thing. Confidence is the result, not the requirement. People feel broken because they are nervous or unsure. But honestly, you are not supposed to be fearless before trying something new. You just need a drop of courage. Not a gallon, just enough to begin. Confidence grows from evidence, and you only get evidence through action. There is a quote I love here. Action is the antidote to anxiety. Not more thinking, not more planning, not more spiraling. Action, even a tiny step, can calm your mind faster than hours of mental gymnastics. And what about emotions? Your mind lies about those too. Sometimes you feel anxious or sad for no big reason and immediately think something must be wrong with you. But emotions are not always deep revelations. Sometimes they are just weather, passing through. Yet we treat every feeling like a crisis. No wonder we get overwhelmed. Half the time, your mind is giving you a brief emotional cloud, and you are interpreting it like a lifelong storm. But here is something strangely comforting. Your mind is predictable. Once you start noticing your patterns, the triggers, the loops, the fears, you gain a little more control. You are never going to control everything. You are human, not a machine. But you can steer instead of drifting. Let me ask you another question. What story does your mind tell you again and again that you are tired of believing? And what would change if that story loosened its grip? And I cannot leave out this part. Your mind needs rest, real rest, not scrolling rest, not zoning out rest. Actual peace, space, silence. Your brain is processing more information per day than any previous generation even came close to. Of course, you feel mentally cluttered. You are carrying more than the hardware was built for. Yet you still expect yourself to be calm on command. That is like expecting your phone battery to stay at 100 while you run 5 apps and a GPS in the background. Another truth: your mind becomes good at whatever you feed it. If you feed it comparison, it will become an expert in insecurity. If you feed it negativity, it will become a detective searching for everything that could go wrong. But if you feed it compassion, curiosity, patience, and gratitude, your mind slowly rewires itself to notice different things. Your attention is a spotlight. Whatever you shine it on grows. So where have you been pointing your spotlight lately? Maybe the most comforting truth of all: every mind is messy. Every mind overthinks. Every mind doubts. The calmest people you know also have storms. There is no normal mind, just minds in different stages of understanding themselves. So, be gentle with yours. Seriously, you are not defective. You are human. And being human means learning how to work with your mind instead of against it. So here is my call to action. Start paying attention. Notice the thoughts that show up on autopilot. Question the stories that feel heavy. Interrupt the familiar fears. Challenge the old beliefs. Feed your mind something better. Pick one small action today that future you will look back on with pride. Not long ago, I caught myself hesitating to try something new. Not because it was hard, but because this old dusty thought showed up. You are not ready. It was not even my voice. It was just an outdated echo from years ago. But that day, instead of obeying it, I paused and said to myself, okay, but what if I am ready enough? Then I took the smallest step I could. It was tiny, almost laughably small, but it shifted something. My mind realized that change was happening whether fear liked it or not. And the fear started to shrink. Not all at once, but enough. That is why I am telling you this. Your turning point will not come from a gigantic gesture. It will come from one simple step that feels almost too small to matter. But it matters. It tells your mind that the old story is not the only story anymore. So ask yourself, right now, what belief about yourself are you finally ready to set down? And what is one tiny step you can take today to prove that belief wrong? Your mind will follow your lead. All it needs is the first move.